So once again, after the election, right after the election, I did the video last night, they added $26 billion to the deficit. Like that, right after the election, not before, right after the election. Perfect timing. So now we have the Fed, Williams, that guy, I think, I forget which one he's out of, San Francisco? Yeah, San Francisco, John Williams. This is from Silver Doctors, thank you. Of QE will go to infinity and then beyond. We already knew that. I mean, they know it too. Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco President John Williams said the central bank may buy more than $600 billion in bonds by extending its third round of quantitative easing well into next year. But I thought you were printing $40 billion a month to buy the mortgage securities from the banks. $40 billion per month minimum. And now you're talking an additional $600 billion, almost the amount of the TARP fund everyone was furious about? Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what he said. The FOMC committee last month affirmed its decision in September to buy $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities each month without specifying the total or duration of the purchases. Williams, who holds a vote on policy this year, was among the first Fed officials to advocate open-ended bond buying. Just buy all we can. Worry about it later. Quote, it should be at least that big. But I would think it would probably be bigger, given my view on how slow the economy is going, Williams said yesterday, referring to his August 31 comment, or August 31st comment, that the Fed should purchase $600 billion in bonds in a third round of asset purchases. Quote, it's going to take a long time for unemployment to come down. What the hell are you talking about, Mr. Williams? It's down to 7.8. Didn't you hear that? Don't you watch the news? Don't you get your daily dose of fake propaganda? It's your guys giving it. So what are you talking about, unemployment? Unemployment's not that bad. Why do we need $600 billion? As a matter of fact, if you calculate how many people that is versus $600 billion, and you were to write them a check, those out of work even, I think we could solve the problem just like that. But that's not going to do anything. We know that. We know you're just saying this because it's a cover story. Because we are in debt up to our eyeballs. We can't admit it. We have to pretend it's okay. We have to pretend it's fixable. We have to pretend by making all this money come out of printers, out of control, that's going to solve the solution. We're going to douse these houses with fire, call the fire department or the Fed to come over, put these fires out. These houses are burning. These poor citizens' houses are burning. As they're unloading the hoses off the truck and getting ready to turn it on, big letters along the hose. Danger, highly flammable liquid. Right, you guys ready to turn it on? Whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? What's in that hose? High octane jet fuel. No, really. This isn't funny, our whole neighborhood's burning down. High octane jet fuel. Don't you think you ought to use water or no more bailouts, no more bond buying, no more printing? Nope. We need to go full force printing, quantitative easing. In other words, burn the whole damn city down. Jet fuel for everybody. And then they turn the hose on, burn everything down to the ground, just finish it off. And we're supposed to sit here like ignorant, stupid, idiotic sheep. Good little citizens, of course. And say, you know what, these guys are the professionals. If that's his decision, I mean, he is the head of the fire department or the head of the Federal Reserve, and their cronies, or excuse me, other expert friends in the Treasury, the CFTC, the Securities Exchange Commission, in Congress, in every important position, and then the State Department, Eric Holder, they've got all bases covered, so that when you look anywhere, they're all on the same page, they're all okay with it. So you're supposed to sit back and say, well, I guess it's okay. It's almost like sitting there watching somebody being raped, like a small child or something, watching it, being able to view that as if you'd really want to, in the first place. But having to sit there and view that, and everybody that watched it allowed it, you find out that there were congressmen next to them, actually in the House. There was police chiefs, head of the FBI, Security and Exchange Commission, the president himself, very high level people in Congress, State Department, Eric Holder, Attorney General. And you're thinking, oh, one of these guys must have a gun, or at least he's going to tackle the guy and, you know, stop him. Matter of fact, the guy doesn't even have a weapon. And you're waiting, and you're waiting. Nothing. Silence. So then all the normal people come out and say, well, there's got to be a good reason. Just, you conspiracy theorists, shut your mouths. There's a good reason why they didn't do anything. They probably didn't know what was going on in the back bedroom. Yeah, but she was screaming bloody murder. You could hear it from 2 blocks away. They probably didn't hear it. Maybe they had the TV on too loud. But then she came out crying in tears, bruised, battered, bleeding, and begged you for help. What about, we thought she just got in a fight with her sibling. Right, that's the sheeple mind trying to come up with excuses, because their own mind, mainly through the church and maybe other reasons, but teaches you that, you know, makes you think that there's just not people capable. Since you're not capable of doing that, you wouldn't dare. It's so despicable. There's not a chance in the world any other human being, especially one of the people in charge of your country that you help vote for, you wouldn't vote for that. So your mind is not capable of even going there. It won't allow you to take that step, so you just sit back and make excuses. So here we all are making excuses. Well, as long as it stops unemployment, I'm okay with the $600 billion. Well, as long as it helps the recovery come back, I'm okay with $40 billion a month going to banks. And then those banks taking that money and starting to move forward with foreclosures and other things that they didn't have the money for before, thanks to the Fed giving them a free handout. So now they can use that money to start foreclosing on people, not giving a crap whether they win or lose the foreclosure case. They just understand that they have to hire a law firm to represent them, because they can't do it themselves, of course. So that's going to cost money. And all they're worried about is what the default status is of when you do that. And that is, the average person gets the notice, foreclosure notice, lawsuit, etc., doesn't fight it, says, I'm down on my luck as it is, I can't afford to do this, I can't hire an attorney, don't have the money, down on my luck, I'm just going to leave, they can have the house. Default judgment, the bank wins, have a nice day. They have a little lawyer fee to pay, they're happy. You can no longer bring a case because it was a default judgment because you did not respond to the lawsuit. So then some clown like me responds to the lawsuit. In this case, I hired a friend that I've been telling you guys about for the last few years to handle my case. So now Bank of America, with your free money that you got from the Fed, $40 billion a month, all you guys get to split, that's fine. And I'm glad you got some free money. I'm really happy about that the rest of America paid for that so that you could go after me and other people. But I will defend it, because I will not roll over, no matter what the circumstances are, and no matter if they even win. Even if they win in 2 years, 3 years from now when it's all over, even if they win, so what? At least I fought and tried to prove the fraud, etc. When I talked to the guy yesterday, my buddy that I met, you know, through this whole finding out about foreclosures and how to fight and this and that, I mentioned he now works for the law firm, or a law firm that wanted him because he was fairly knowledgeable on by himself fighting his own mortgage by himself successfully, his own foreclosure. I asked him, had he read the book or heard of the book Clouded Titles? He said, no, I haven't. And I emailed it to him and said, listen, you know, I've read up almost half of it right now. This book contains everything you could ever imagine being in this industry of fighting foreclosures. It says people from state government, local government, municipalities are contacting this guy constantly to ask him about how to go about, you know, certain instances of how to handle it in fighting these mortgage companies, and being defrauded in the bond area by for the same reasons. So, you know, municipal bonds and stuff. But anyways, and part of this, by the way, of them getting involved, the states and cities, is because this county and cities don't record a fee for the chain of title. Like when you have to, you know, when it changes ownership, you have to record that with the county or whatever, that kind of thing. There's a fee involved. Well, when MERS came about, they said, well, we're coming about so you don't have to pay that fee to them. You can pay us a lot smaller fee to MERS, and we'll keep track of the records for you. So now the cities and states are suing, some of them. Of course, we've seen what happens to the attorney generals of the state, or excuse me, attorneys general of the states. We're just going to settle out of court. Pay a fine and everything's okay. No. I did not vote or hire any attorney general in my state to roll over when they have all the money, taxpayer money they need to take this damn case, court case, as far as they need to go to prove way more than this little tiny penalty that they're charging these banks. I paid them to go fight for me, and what do? We're going to settle out of court, naturally. And what can I do? Can I sue the attorney general for not doing his job? No, you can't, because that is part of his job. Part of his job allows him to determine if, what, when, where, and why he or she can decide we're going to settle out of court. It's part of his job. So you're allowing and have no choice but to allow them to say, well, I'm going to settle on this one. I'm not going to settle on this one. Oh, this is the banks, the club. I'm going to settle. Oh, it's you, peasant. I'm going to throw the book at you, you piece of crap. The same peasant that's paying my salary, yes, throwing the book at you. The banks don't pay me anything, but they do pay us off from time to time with campaign contributions. I will take them. I will take their word, not yours. Get out of my face. So this guy, I said, have you seen this or heard this book? No, I haven't. I said, man, you have to have it. He's like, well, do you have a copy I can borrow? I said, man, I'm gonna give you my copy. I'm sending it in the mail with the check I had to send them to start. Again, this is the Tampa, Florida, or Orlando area, Mount Dora area, maybe even Daytona area, Florida. I think that he deals with Brooksville also, and it's $4,000 for them to take the case from start to finish the entire time. And I made sure when I said, look, I'm just curious. Are you trying to actually win the case, or are you really just going to extend this so someone can stay in their house for a couple, 2 or 3 years? I said, in either case, I'm actually all right with that. He says, oh, absolutely. We are totally trying to win the case. We want to prove fraud. We want to prove our case. We do not want to just get you to stay in the house. That's just going to be a side effect of what happens, but we really want to win the case. So I said, I got to send you this book in case there's things in there that maybe you hadn't heard of or known about that could benefit you, whether my case or someone else's case. I'm sending the book with the check today. That was yesterday. It's in the mail. He'll have it today. So as I said, I'll keep you guys up to date with my status on that foreclosure, how it goes, what's happening, etc. It's going to be 2 years long, I can tell you, so don't expect to see a verdict anytime soon. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep you up to date, because if I can take my case, and let's just say I can win it, every response, everything back and forth that goes into this case with them, Bank of America versus my lawyers, etc., is recorded, it's logged, it's in document form. I can keep it, I'll have copies. I can then give it to the world for free and say, guys, this is for you. This is my case. This is how I defeated Bank of America, etc. And if you have a similar case where you had Countrywide, and then it was given to Bank of America, then Bank of America dumped it on Freddie and Franny, then Freddie and Franny dumped it back on Bank of America, etc. If that's you, here's my case and here's how I won. Of course, we're not there yet, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I know I'm going to win, but I don't care. And if at the least worst case scenario is I don't win, I've already been there for 2.5 years not paying a mortgage, and I'll be there for another 2 to 3 years, probably, maybe even longer, fighting this without paying a mortgage. So could you imagine living somewhere for 5 years? And again, I didn't do this to be deceitful. I didn't do this to try to screw the system. They screwed me. They lied to me. They committed fraud on me. They have gaping holes in my chain of title, so I don't know who the real owner is. There's a problem. This is why this happened. So, because it happened, and because even though they committed these crimes, or whatever you want to call it, my credit score still sucks because it shows that I'm not making payments on my mortgage. I can't call the credit company or credit agency and say, listen, I'm actually fighting Bank of America, so can you put my credit status on hold until we determine who the owner is? Because if they're not really, the person that they represent is not the owner, then that means they can't rightfully give me a credit score of crap to you. So can you put that on hold while the court case is pending? Yeah, right, kid. No. So they're affecting my credit. So I'm affecting their bank account by not paying, because again, I'm not paying somebody who I don't know owns the house. If they don't know not the real owner, I'm not giving someone money for free. So I've lived there for 2.5 years for free. They pay the insurance, they pay the property taxes, I pay nothing, and I'll be there for another 2-3 years with the same scenario. So being able to live somewhere for 5 years without paying property taxes, without paying insurance, without paying the actual mortgage, having that money, etc., even if they win the foreclosure case, do you really think I'm going to be upset when I look back and say, man, I have 5 years of not paying anything? 5 years minimum of not paying anything. And they screwed me over, and the court still sided with them, knowing it was fraudulent, knowing there was these problems. Yeah, I'll be pissed off at these corrupt judges, but then I'll take a breath. 5 years of not making a payment. Boy, I was able to do a lot of good stuff with that money. And for a good cause. Didn't know who the owner was. Tried to prove it in court, and I lost. You think I'm going to start making back payments for 5 years? No. Bank of America, come get the house. It's yours. I'll vacuum the floor, I'll clean it up. I'm not going to break everything. I'm not going to destroy all the appliances. No. It's yours. Take it. I want you to have it. Because I'll already be in Tennessee, living a whole nother life over there, getting away from the city, getting away from all this nonsense, and starting new. Take care.